Psalms chapter 14. The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt, they have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So for those who say that there is no God and live as if there is no God, even though God exists, even though God is, says they are corrupt and that they're foolish. Also says they've done abominable works, and those are things that God would hate. And there is none that doeth good. So even though there may be a perception, okay, well, there isn't a God, and then I'm doing good, and I'm out there doing good. It's different than what one thinks, because there is none that doeth good. Those who say that there is no God. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men to see if there were any that did understand. I'm going to go ahead and speak on that. The Lord looked down from heaven. So where is God? Where is God now? Looking down from heaven, or, where was he at this point in time? But we know that he is enthroned in the heavenly places. And so, and that he's able to look down on what's going on, right? He's able to see what is going on. So the Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men. Okay? So there's, the idea of the sons of God, the sons of men, the Son of God, only one and only begotten Son. He says upon the sons of men. So that's the people of the earth, a people of the earth. Upon the sons of men, the Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men. I said sons. I don't know why I said that. The Lord looked down from heaven upon the children of men, to the people who were born to others, to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. So that's what he was looking for. Is there anyone out there who understands? Is there anyone out there who gets it? Is there anyone out there? Is there anyone, Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you seek me? Do you seek me? So we know that the Lord is enthroned in the heavenly places, and we know that that we can boldly, and that's with confidence, approach the throne of God. Now, would that be considered seeking God? Would it, would that be, when we boldly approach him, when we go to him to talk, is that seeking God? Would seeking his counsel, when your hands are just thrown up in the air, opened up wide, I don't know what to do, those type of things, would that be seeking God? When you don't know who to marry, you don't know who to date, you don't know who to how to raise your kids, or where to move, or where to to live, what job to work. You may not know what field to go into. You may not know even what to eat that afternoon. And you see God and you ask the Lord, will you help me? Will you help me? Will you help me with this conversation that I'm supposed to have with this relative, or with this friend, or with the right sentence or the right words to text, or even it could be as simple as God, I don't know how you're going to speak right now, but I'd like to watch a movie. Is this a good one? Do you seek the counsel of God? Do you seek God? And ways that you can seek him is through prayer, and through asking him to show you. You can also seek him through his word. You just don't stop reading his word. So he's looking for those kinds of people, right? He's looking for those people who seek him. And he's looking for, down from heaven in a way that is just It's like he needs to know who's out there doing that. He also wants to know who has understanding, because there might be a lot of people who, who would offer up a prayer, but do those people have understanding of when he speaks? Those people have understanding of his law and his ways and his word and his desires and his will? It's easy to understand what people might want. It's easy to understand what a nation might want, or a particular group of people might want from us, a superior might want. It's easy to understand what a family member might want if they, if they say it, or, it's easy to understand what others want, but do you understand what God wants? Are you reading his word? Are you seeking after him? Are you wanting to know? Are you putting yourself in a place where you have understanding? You have understanding of his will and what he wants. Okay, well, how are you going to do that unless you have a relationship with him? How are you going to do that unless you're reading his word? How are you going to do that unless you're praying? Unless you're going, to see him, to seek him, to worship him? All these kinds of things. They put us in a place where we can have understanding because we're willing to. It's kind of common to say, oh, do the work in the relationship, but it really does. It makes sense in this context, and because people have a lot of different definitions of what doing the work in the relationship would be. But like in this relationship, prayer, contemplation, are you fasting? Are you reading the word? Are you, David said, in his law doth he meditate day and night in the first psalm? That means, the scriptures that you're reading, you're meditating on that. Don't, mix that up with something that could be sinful for you, because it's not. Meditating, we're thinking upon the words of God. So that's where you're going to get your understanding. So he's looking. It's like he's looking down on the children of men. Or the children, yeah, I guess that's fine. I didn't say sons, I said children. I didn't mess it up. All right, so he's looking down, and he wanted to see if there were any that did understand and seek God. Anybody? They are all gone aside. Psalms 14, verse 3, they are all gone aside. So you could be going on a certain path, a direct path toward God. Well, what way did he say you're going? That people are going. They're turned. They've gone aside. Oh, they turned this way. They have turned maybe this way. I'm not looking anymore at you. I'm looking at curtains. I'm not looking anymore, at you. I'm looking at hangers, or I can look directly at you. Are we looking at God? Are we looking to God? Are we looking to hangers or to curtains? Are we looking to the wrong thing? Are we looking to our possessions? Are we looking to what we can build? Are we looking to people, to pleasing them? Are we looking to building things for ourselves that aren't the will of God for us? So they were all gone aside. So they turned from him. Okay. They're all together become filthy. So I wanted to think of something filthy, and what I think of, and I'm like, oh, first of all, I think of people who might have filthy thoughts, but I also think of when you're cleaning your house, especially the floor, and you have a bucket, and you have just a cleaning cloth, like a rag, and then the more floor you clean, the more filthy that rag is going to get, and by the end of it, it might just be completely brown, and so that might be filthy. You might think of like a dog that's gotten into the mud and his feet are just full of mud. His underbelly are, just areas that you're like, oh gosh, if that dog comes in and gets on my couch, ooh, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have to clean everything so deeply and, really, really clean everything well. And so you don't want that filthy, paw or whatever it is, the legs or the, could be the tail, running around on the carpet and the couch and the floor. Like, you want to make sure and take care and clean those things. And perhaps it would be an insight, for you, before you come into God's presence, to examine yourself. Is there something in me that's just would be filthy before him? Well, what's he say? He says, they've all gone aside and they're all together become filthy. They've all gotten completely filthy. There's none that doeth good. No, not one. He's looking for the people that are doing good. And I'm sure you can think of a lot of people who you think, boy, they are doing good. And I think of like, oh boy, this place in town, I respect that place so much, and all the flags and all the missional endeavors that they're doing. I'll bet, if I worked there, then I'd just be completely about, taking care of, those who are less fortunate in the town. And I think of, it's like, well, he said that there's none that are doing good. And there are all these, these people that were just like, well, I look up to them. I look up to that person. I look up to that person. And he was looking. He was looking. This is a Psalm of David. He said, of all the workers of iniquity. Oh, he said, there is none that doeth good. And he says, have all the workers of iniquity no knowledge? These people who work out their sins, do they have no knowledge? Do they just not know? Do they have no knowledge? You eat up my people as they eat bread. They take advantage of people. So maybe I've just really looked at it wrong again. And there's none that doeth good. Maybe that's the fools that say in their heart, there is no God. So maybe those people who, I should have seen it differently. Changed my mind on that. Yeah, those people that are doing the right thing are doing the right thing. And it's like, but really at the end of the day, when our righteousness is filthy rags to Christ compared to him, we know that not one, for all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So no one's really measured up. That we've all got the parts of us that are, they're just filthy compared to who God is. So, but it says, have all the workers of iniquity, these people who work and do sin, they have no knowledge, who eat up my people as they eat bread. They just eat up my people. The people of God, chosen people of God, they just eat them up like they eat bread and call not upon the Lord. These people don't call on the name of the Lord. You don't ask him. You don't say, help me. I need you to cleanse me. I need you to forgive me. I need you to help me in this situation. I need you to give me wisdom. I need you to give me knowledge. I need you to give me understanding on how to live and on what to do. They were in great fear, for God is in the generation of the righteous. So when you see people doing the right thing, then people are going to be afraid of them. And if people have done you wrong or sinned against you, then they will be in great fear, because God is in the generation of the righteous. So what do you have to do? What do you need to do? You got to become righteous. You got to do the right thing. That's what you have to do. You just have to do the right thing, because God is in the generation of the righteous. It says, ye have shamed the counsel of the poor. So basically, you've made the thoughts and the opinions of the poor obsolete. You shamed them. You've looked down on them, maybe given them a dirty look, like, why didn't you measure up? Why didn't you have that? Why weren't you, why didn't you come up with more money? Why didn't you come up with more money? Why don't you have more? And so, because you don't have anything that you can provide financially for me, I'm going to shame you. I'm going to shame you because you haven't given to me financially. Because you haven't built me up financially. Because you're not looking a certain way to people. Shamed. They've shamed the counsel of the poor. And there are a lot of poor people in this world. There are a lot of poor people in this world. And it's a sinful type people that shame the counsel of the poor, who are in need, don't have what they need, and they're looking to be heard, to be understood, and they are looking to be helped. It's not right, is it? You've shamed the counsel of the poor, and my hands are shaking now because I feel sadness, and that might actually be the Holy Spirit, because we don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to shame the counsel of the poor. People come up without finances, in their hands to offer, if that's not what they have. But they have wisdom, and they have words, and they have bravery, and they have something to give. It may not just be monetary. Are you going to shame them because they don't look a certain way, because they don't have that to offer? Is that what we're going to do? I don't think so, because the Lord is his refuge. The reason you can't do that is because God cares about those people. Oh, that the salvation of Israel were come out of Zion, when the Lord bringeth back the captivity of his people. Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad.